winning 6 of their last 7. Their only loss was at Michigan State in a game that they were competitive in. So they have a very good young core, a terrific young guard, and Lily. I've known Paxton Wojcik pretty much his whole life. His dad and I were both assistant coaches at Duke and Carolina, and my son and Paxton and Denham were little boys back in the North Carolina days. So I know what kind of fighter and what kind of spirit he had, and is a good player, and just impressed with their team. I thought they did some things. They had a good plan against us. I thought their movement, their cutting, had our defense on our heels a little bit in the first half, especially when they shot 50%. That being said, our communication was not good. We were switching a lot of their actions, and we weren't talking, so we were susceptible to then chasing guys around and getting beat and them having us on our heels. So we got to shore that up for sure. That being said, I thought in the second half we got a number of stops there in a row when we needed to, when our offense was struggling. I thought we left a lot of points on the table, with whether it be layups, transition opportunities, 4-on-3s, 3-on-2s, 4-on-1s. When we force turnovers, we force 17 turnovers. So when we get the ball on the open floor, we have to score and convert, and that's something we got to do really better. I thought we were a little bit stagnant with our movement offensively. That's something we got to get better at as we get ready for Sunday. But, give the guards credit. Chase, I thought, made some big shots when we needed it. Obviously, in the second half, I thought Boo came alive there and made a couple big buckets when we needed. Found Matt, on a big lob there late in the game. So, it's a good win. It's a great way to wrap up the non-league. We talked about this going into the season. If we wanted to be a team that wanted to have a chance to do anything, you have to take care of November and December. And, we were able to win 9 of 11. And so I'm really proud of my team. We got our first conference win, so we're 1-0 coming back into the league. So 10-2 at this point is in a good spot, and it sets us up to play 2 months of basketball of games that matter. And obviously that starts Sunday night with Ohio State.
Chase with 24 points tonight and made some miraculous shots. That 3 as time was expiring on the shot clock, for an example. What type of progression have you seen him throughout this season to take a step from a guy who maybe wasn't making those shots last year to a guy who's now taking it with confidence and making it?
Yeah, I think a couple things. I think number one is health. Last year he never was healthy all year long. He gutted through a hip injury that was very painful, and I thought it most showed offensively with him because he never quite had his legs underneath him. I think as a younger player, he's got such a competitive spirit that he wants to do well. Comes from a good place. Like he's a confident guy. He wants to attack. He wants to be aggressive. And I think what he's finding is that balance. When to kind of make plays for others. When to attack himself. His shot selection's gotten a lot better this year. I never feel like this year he's played sped up, and out of control, which at times he did, over the last couple of years, and he's just playing like a senior who's playing like an all-league player. Really proud of him. He's having fun out there. He's been a great leader for our team, and it's fun to see him go out and play the way he's playing.
Free throws were a huge difference in this game, as you guys shot 90% from the stripe, as Rome only shot 50%. Can you speak to a little bit about the focus you give to free throws and the advantage that gives, especially as you guys enter conference play?
Yeah, I think it's a great point. I think it's something that you got to practice. We try to do every day. We try to come up with competitive free throw shooting drills where there's, whatever, running a sprint or, something they have to do if they don't make a certain amount as a team. We are always shooting pressure free throws in practice because those points are valuable. And you even look in the last minute, they cut it to 6 there. Boo had to go up and make 2 big ones. We got to stop, and then Ty made 2 big ones. So it was really good, to make those 4 free throws there in the last minute to kind of ice the game away. And it's something we work on a lot, and it's also the confidence. It's great for our guys to want the ball in that situation. They want to go up to the line, they want to shoot them, and they're doing a great job of knocking them down.
As you move into the latter part of the season, into conference play, obviously you're scouting for the next opponent and future opponents and seeing what they do, but can you speak a little bit to the self-scouting that has to be done and to make changes for what you guys are doing not only adapting to what the opponents are doing. But
Yeah, no, I think it's a great point. You always have to scout your opponents and get ready. But the Big Ten is such a well coached league. I mean, everybody in this league knows what they're doing. They know how to take your strengths away. They know how to put you in uncomfortable situations. So what you constantly have to do with your own team is continue to evolve and to continue to try to turn maybe some of your weaknesses into strengths, and also to bring out new things along the year. You'll see teams kind of sprinkle in new defenses, maybe new presses, new things offensively. You know, we've always kind of been like that. You know, a team as the season goes on, we come up with some new actions or new things that we can run offensively, you know, to try to combat what the other team's going to do. And I think you have to in the Big Ten. If you just sit pat, there's so much film now. There's so much analytics. There's so many good coaches that know how to do this thing. So you have to continue to evolve as a team and self-scout and get better as a group as you move through conference play.
Another big switch to this year has been rebounding. It's
Yeah.
the best rebounding rate that Northwestern has had in 45 years. So what can you speak to that, and a team that isn't a bunch of 7-footers out there, but you're still fighting for every rebound?
Yeah, I just think it's kind of the mindset of this group. You know, we're physical. Like if you talk to people that play against us, one of the things that stands out is they're going to say our physicality. And to your point, you don't look at some of those guys, but our guards, you know, Chase is physical, Ty's physical, Julian Roper's very physical, Brooks Barnheiser, you know, has the ability even, and those guys are 6'3", 6'4", 6'5" type guys. The emergence of Matt Nicholson has been a big help of that. You know, his ability to, you know, get rebounds. He gets 11 tonight, 6 offensive rebounds. You know, his size around the basket has made us a more physical team. And we have older guys, you know, that have kind of embraced that. I think they have a little bit of a chip on their shoulder, you know, of always being kind of labeled as maybe not being physical or not being as physically tough. And I think it's something that this team has really taken pride in.
So this is your guys' best start since the 2016-17 season. Obviously, it's a
Yeah.
completely new roster, different coaches, different players. But what comparisons can you draw, maybe in terms of mentality or in terms of scheme, between this team and that team from 6 years ago?
I think the one thing, totally different teams, obviously kind of constructed differently, and we played different way with that group. But the thing that I would say is it's been two of my more connected teams. You know, those guys in the locker room, our guys are very connected, you know, and good and bad. You know, they hold each other accountable. You know, the sole goal is to win. You know, and we've had enough older guys that have kind of gotten better, but haven't been able to get over the hump and get to that point where they want to get to, which is being able to play in March and play in postseason play. And it matters to them. And our older guys have set a great example of that. And we got young competitive guys that fall in line. I mean, Brooks and Julian and Ty Berry and, you know, our freshmen, Luke Hunger and Nick Martinelli, those guys, they're competitive guys who have been winners. And so, you know, I just think the connectedness, if you want to say what are the two parallels of the two teams, is just how together the groups are and how I feel like the sole agenda is winning. And when you have that, you have a chance, you know, because other things don't seep in. It's always about how are we going to win.
Any more questions? That'll wrap us up. Thank you.
All right, guys. See you on
Thank you
Sunday.
so much.
Yeah,
Have a
thanks
good
for
one.
coming, guys.
you started a little bit slower on the day from the field, but really heated up as the second half came along and into the clutch time in the game where you guys were able to ice the game away. Can you talk about, just from a mindset perspective, what goes into maintaining a level head even when the shots aren't falling in order to produce like you did in the second half?
I mean, yeah, one of our coaches always says before every game, you know, just picture yourself out there doing stuff to help your team win the game. And so I always just try to picture myself making plays as the point guard, whether that be passing the ball or scoring the ball or just getting a teammate in a good position with the ball. So, yeah, I mean, early on in the game, you know, you just got to keep telling yourself there's a lot of game left. The next one's going to fall. You can't worry about the last shot or the last turnover or any last play, really, even on a make. You just always have to have that next play mentality.
And then on that lob to Matt Nicholson, can you just take me through, like, kind of just tossing it up? What were you seeing there?
I mean, yeah, so I started the play initially attacking my defender downhill, and I got around him, and I was able to turn the corner. And so my first thought was to, you know, score. And then I seen Matt's man stepping over, sliding over, so I just tossed it up to the big fella, and he went up there and got it for me.
Today you drew 2 offensive fouls. You took a charge down in the paint and also drew another one in the second half. Can you talk about like growing on the defensive end of the floor and like seeking out those opportunities where you can force turnovers via that way, not just through steals and such?
Yeah, you know, I took a big pride on my defense this year, you know, and that's just something we do as a team. We have a lot of pride in our defense, and just as the point guard and the guy pressuring the ball handler and the main ball handler all game, you know, the defense has to feel my pressure, and our defensive pressure as a team starts with me up there guarding the ball. So if they see me pressuring, you know, guys will just follow along. So I just really try to do the best I can every day.
Any more questions? Go ahead.
Coach was just in here. He mentioned that it's like a very connected and close-knit group. Have you noticed also that the team is especially connected compared to the 3 years in the past and the teams you've been on? Like, and how does that manifest onto the court?
I mean, yeah, the connection is really well. Like previous years, you know, you kind of group with who you come in with just from the ages being different, and that's who you knew. Like, so my class, you know, kind of a little closer with them, but as far as a whole team, you know, everyone is really connected. There's not any small groups or we're not divided by class. Everyone can say whatever to anyone, and everyone learns from each other. So, you know, just having that family type atmosphere is really good. And after practice, like no one is super quick to get off the court. We're just all 15 of us are just out there, just chopping it up, getting extra shots up, and doing things outside of basketball a lot. So, you know, the connectedness is definitely a lot higher this year.
Funniest guy on the team?
The funniest guy on the team, Roy Dixon.
Really?
Roy Dixon.
All right, gotta wrap this up.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.